Great, got it. We are UXify Eindhoven, a team of people that are organizing meetup events. Berkay is not here today, but 4 of us are present. And we are passionate about user experience. We are designers, startuppers, and developers, students, juniors, seniors, and experts. And we have about 1,250 UXifiers from Eindhoven and the world that are connected to our community. I see someone else is joining as well, so that's very nice.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I was not sure if it was still loading or connected. Yeah, very welcome, Brittany. Yes, and today we will dive into, I see a spelling mistake.
Yeah, also noticed.
Nosedive, yes.
Nosedive.
Nosedive.
We will have a look at what we've learned from the last 2 events. So we organize events in terms of blocks, and 3 events we spent on the same theme. This block's theme is about ethics, and we had 2 presenters that were presenting in July and June. And we will have a short look back on what we learned from them. Then Ola will do an introduction into the workshop, and we will have see some short flashbacks and clips about the episode. We can split up in groups if we decide so, and then we get the work done in basically 2 steps: the analysis phase and the redesign phase. And if we split up in groups, then we present at the end the ideas towards each other. So, thinking back about the June event, about Leonard, he shared something like subjects like the addictive nature of online privacy and the concept of data more important than people. Ethical design is a hot topic. It's easy to have principles, but it's less harder to act. And Leonard came up with this whole idea of thinking in systems, and he set up a whole system to spread it along a company to bring ethical values towards the surface, basically, and to discuss them. So he split it up in basically 4 different tracks: people that sell ethics, people that deliver ethics or deliver in a responsible way, make ethics measurable and make metrics responsible metrics. And the 4th pillar was about the inspiration. And he wanted to share this along towards his colleagues so that this becomes a whole system of bringing ethical values more present. Nata, she was the presenter of the July event. She taught us more about how to practice ethics in a more personal level. So we did some challenges and discussed, like, what would you do if you were asked for a conference and you see that Shell is the main sponsor? Would you step up or not? How do you deal with this? And she also shared some insights about companies that have design technologies with ethical virtues in mind. I remember that she shared a care sharing platform, and that this platform tries to be very transparent in how the algorithm works, so that that the virtue transparency is lifted up, basically. And we learned from her to keep talking about it. So that is a short flashback. I would like to give the word to Ola. Maybe you can introduce the clips.
Yes, so actually before we have 2 events about ethic design and how we should design to make the digital product safe and transparent and without bad impact for society, for people and everything, we start thinking what we can do in our last session about the ethical design. So that's why we start thinking about Black Mirror, and especially the first episode Nosedive, because here we can see that how bad impact can have some digital products and new technology, especially in this episode. We have a person, and we have application that everybody can rate somebody from 1 to 5 stars, independent if we know somebody or we didn't. So actually we can grow up really fast, but actually we can also go down really fast, and actually everybody can rate everybody. So actually we just see that, okay, this is application, this is digital product, but this is totally not ethical. So that's why our point is to make the workshop what we can do better with this. So yeah, so I think this is just a short introduction, and now actually we can see a really short shortcut from this episode. This is this is one of the famous scenes. Short one, so Johnny, maybe you can play.
And in certain circumstances, it molds society as a whole and determines what is popular and what is not. When you see that she's in the cell and free from the rating system, it's a more exaggerated version of what I see as not being on social media anymore. You no longer have to be false, you no longer have to pretend to be somebody who you're not, and you're not surrounded by all of the negativity that comes along with it. Social media is a powerful tool, but when people use it for the wrong reasons and try to live a life that isn't achievable or actually there, then that is when people end up like Lacey did in the episode Nosedive. That's why when she's free from it all, it's the most powerful moment in the episode. If you want to say in what video...
That's it.
That's it.
All right, are we in the mood for some analyzation of this fantastic episode?
Always.
Yeah.
All right. I will share the Miro board in the chat.
Will we divide in 2 groups?
Yes.
Yeah, because then I set up the groups.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 people.
7.
So no. So I think no.
I don't want to split up.
And maybe
So
let's
one-
go with one group.
One group?
Yeah, one.
Okay. Then I won't set this up. Okay. So we go to the Miro board. Yeah.
Yes. And I cannot get you to my, right? Because I'm, oh yes, ring, no.
Oh yeah.
Is everyone
A
around?
tip, if people see like a really pinky thing, there's a small button at the bottom of your screen. If you click it, then the pink elements will be gone. Just a tip.
I see people around. Is everyone in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. All right, so we go step by step. So the first step is about the analyzation phase. I think I will stop sharing because now we can do it from the Miro board. And in step 1, we do the analysis of the Nosedive episode. We first are going to describe the technology. Then we will vote on the ethical values that are present in this episode. then we will map the values and we will describe the design's effect on each value. And in step 2, we take those concerns and those values and we try to come up with a new idea how to redesign the Black Mirror's Nosedive technology. So we start with the beginning. So
sorry, if you keep on sharing, then it will also be on the recording. So maybe that's interesting for the channel.
Indeed, that's maybe true. Then I will keep on sharing.
And then we just focus on the mirror thing itself, if that works for everyone.
So maybe we can take a few minutes to think about how we would describe the technology, and you can write it in the yellow post-its that are there.
So it's about the technology, right? So I wrote something more how I would describe this entire, I don't know, idea, but it's more what the technology does, or
Yeah, indeed, it's something. Indeed, what do we see in the episode? Indeed, online ranking system, easy to use, ranking society at large. It's maybe also mobile phones are involved, like ranking through mobile phone.
but also like,
Yeah. And the funny thing is, now I think about it, it's also it's well established. It's not something you don't have, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a number.
Yeah, it's the norm, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, transparent cell phone, indeed. That is very cool.
Yeah.
Great. All right, now we have a better view on what the technology is. We could think about what are the ethical values that are relevant in this episode. I think some have already thought about it if I look at the post-its. But in pink, we see the general ethical values. It would be great if you could consider, like, what values do you see in this episode? I suggest we vote on it, and you can vote on it by clicking on a post-it, and then you see this emoji, and then you can pick an emoji to vote with, and it automatically counts on the post-it. And in the meanwhile, I'm looking for some nice music to guide us.
One thing what I want to say that you can also vote for is totally opposite this, that for example, like, yeah, it's totally not used here. So
Yeah. So for example, equity, promoting fairness. Well, maybe it's not promoting fairness, but at least the value is really represented in the episode, I think.
And above you have instruction how you can vote it, that you added emoticon, that smile. Yeah.
And
Can
sorry.
one of you do like a demonstration? I'm not sure, or maybe you're doing it now, but I missed it. I'm not sure how to vote. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, you could just double click on it. I literally
Oh.
just did it and I was like, oh, that was easy.
I see.
Double click
Double click, really?
on the post-it. Doesn't work for me. But
Oh, sorry, click once. If you double click, it doesn't do anything. It just brings up that bar that has the auto, the type, and then on the far right side is the smiley face for the emojis.
And do we vote on the values that are relevant in the episode, like both the happy world and when she, declares?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice idea, the music.
You hear it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of relaxing.
Nice, it is.
Creativity boost playlist. So. All right. I see a lot of votes. Very interesting. Maybe does one of you want to elaborate on a value that you saw was interesting and connected to the episode?
Well, I noticed that they use, I think it's in the second clip, technology to manipulate people. So she was standing in the kitchen and she saw herself being aroused by that guy, and that made her buy the house, make the decision. But yeah, it's not real because the guy is not with that house. It's just some kind of fantasy they create, and that persuades her to purchase. So I thought that was quite interesting. Next to the whole social mobile phone stuff, that's one I noticed.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really about creating such a personal experience that you really want to have it, want to do it, being persuaded in that sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Indeed.
I guess something I was interested in elaborating on is the equity, promoting fairness, justice, reciprocity, or equality. So I think in theory, it might actually be different from what the movie portrays. So for example, so obviously I think this is a very horrible world, but I think the reality would be not that you would rate someone highly because they look well, but rather, for example, in the instance where she's at the airport and this lady is just demanding things, I think they would probably rate, I don't know, they may, maybe that's not a good example, but it may just force you to be kind to someone else. And so if you're just showing too much of yourself, I think that you would probably not get good ratings. So I think that's maybe what the show fails to show is the reality of how people would rate each other. So I think if this was part of the real world, I think we would see very different ratings. Maybe people who were more honest or who were, I would think that the blonde girl, she would have like the worst ratings, So
I think it's also interesting what you say, like the way you give people feedback. Basically, some people are just really fair. Also, just in like normal life, some people are just really giving feedback to support the other person that's asking for feedback to improve, and other people are more like, yeah, everything was good. You know what I mean? Just this also a little bit like everyone in this episode does what is expected from them, whatever society thinks is expected, or how you should behave.
But it's also invites it. The system encourages this, right? You see, it's not in the clips that we showed, but it's in the example that this one guy, he broke up, colleague or something, and then he behaved badly, and now everyone of the company is not voting for him. Everyone is giving him negative stars or like only 1 star. And it's really about choosing sides, what also the system encourages to do. So in a way, the society decides what is then good or bad and behaves all the same because you don't want to be on the other side.
Yes, exactly. And actually, if you got this worst star and you see that somebody give this person 1 star, I think second person will be not decide to give 5 star for it because they will think that, okay, they already have not that much stars, so I cannot do it.
Yeah, be influenced by what other people vote.
And technology makes makes groups, right? As nowadays you see, like with Facebook, they're like vaccinators and anti-vaccinators, and there's no middle ground. Like technology forces you into a group even today. So that's quite interesting, based on what you said.
So if we would map the values, like which one should we prioritize? Can we choose the ones that have the most votes, which is then superiority?
Yeah, superiority had 5.
Receiving?
Positive self.
Positive self.
Oh yeah, positive self. This one, but I don't know how many we can take.
Let's say we choose 5.
Yeah, 3, I think.
All right.
we have now 3. Maybe the equity one and the uniqueness,
Yeah, I think also the
Yeah.
right? And in the, maybe we could first try to see how this value relates to the episode. Like in box 4, you see kind of a sentence like the nosedive technology inhibits, supports, limits, enhances, prevents, enables, reinforces, undermines, or challenges this concern. Maybe we can decide with the 6 of us like what it is for both those values. So for example, I think that the technology maybe promotes uniqueness, right?
no, right? It's the other way.
I think it's the opposite. Yeah.
Unpromotes. You don't want to stand out. You want to be exactly the same as everyone else.
Or you just want to have the 5 and therefore be unique.
Yeah. But people rate you. Yeah, it depends on how you get rated, right? You don't want to stand out too much because then you're weird. Be in line with whatever society thinks should be the line.
Yeah, I would argue that they don't have the privilege to be unique with this technology. It pretty much promotes what the majority of the population considers to be good.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to aim for if you want to win at this rating game.
So then it limits uniqueness or prevents or undermines, maybe.
I like undermines.
We go for undermines.
Hmm.
Equity.
Yeah, it's a little bit equity.
Also promotes equity, right? Because I give you 5 stars, you give me 5 stars. So there's something reciprocal about it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like both sides because indeed if equality and equity promote, but then promoting fairness, it's, you know, not really fair. So it's
No, it's not fair at all.
Well, it's equally unfair to everyone.
that's true.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It seems that is it right? Not really, but as far as equality, it seems like everyone is pretty much equally walking that same thin rope between being, 4.8 plus rating and just being canceled, essentially. Like I would probably relate this to in today's society, a lot in the culture, celebrities get canceled like just left and right, So it seems like everybody's kind of just this close from being canceled at any time because it takes one thing and then downhill you go, nosedive.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's like as long as it keeps on the social level, I would argue that it's maybe the same for everyone. But what stand out to me in this episode is that there are limits in society. You cannot fly if you are below 4.2. Like, that's not fair, right? That shouldn't be. Or is it?
I think that the issue is that their system is flawed. If they had a perfect system that kind of everybody could say, okay, why are you not a 4.2? You had every opportunity to be a 4.2 and you're not. And we think it's fair to only have, high rating people on this flight because, those are the people that we all want to sit next to and we can't get off this plane once it takes off. But I think the problem here is that I think that system is fair, but the ratings themselves aren't fair. So it's just slippery slope.
Yeah. But the rating is based on your whole life, not if you're a good passenger. So
that as well.
I think it's similar to Airbnb or Uber, where if you just are give terrible service or there are gaps in the experience that you offer, then you get less opportunities because maybe you become less visible or you don't have this super rating. So that promotes in some way the level of fairness in which we're all kind of keeping or ensuring that like the person is, you know, giving a good service.
Yeah, this feedback culture. But that, yeah.
What should we write?
Maybe challenges?
Yeah, I was also thinking challenges.
Save one. Receiving, obtaining approval, support, or validation from others. Oh yeah.
Enhances approval from others.
Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive self.
Main training, it says, but is it maintaining?
Like a made up word.
Yeah, I would say challenges positive self because are people really happy with a high score, high social rating? Or are they really happy if they're smiling on the pictures? Things like that.
Mm-hmm. But also it yeah, but that's not a word, but it questions basically the positive self. Like, what is the positive self? Are you like positive for yourself, or you imagine
You are the positive.
Yeah. You create this positive self for others, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
the challenges? I think that's good. Yeah.
Like identity versus image.
Maybe it projects positive self.
Yeah.
We can make it challenges. Oh. Projects.
I also liked what you said, Andy. Like, what did you say? Like, image and
image versus self. Identity. Yeah.
Mm. And superiority. Comparing favorable to others in terms of winning status and success. Oh yeah.
Enforcing status, I think. It's all about status.
Yeah.
Enforcing, is that enhances?
Or
yeah, enhance. Or supports.
Support?
Yeah, because I thought like it, yeah, or it aims to, it supports you to go and win, whatever winning is, but
yeah. Maybe it's not about winning, but more about status, right? It's all about how people perceive you.
Well, I'd argue it's still about winning to some degree, just in a sense, you're pretty much competing with everyone around you.
Yeah.
So if the highest person around you is a 4.5, if you're a 4.6, you're winning.
Yeah. You want to be that influencer to be able to buy that house.
Yeah, exactly. Because if there's no other applicants that are a higher ranking than you, then you'll be the most favorable applicant, winning. See, you just got to beat everybody else at this game.
Yeah.
But you also need others to have high scores. Like you don't want to be around, or you don't want to be the one that's outstanding, or you know how we were discussing, like how you don't want to stand out, or you don't want to be unique.
Yeah, but to win, you have to be different, right? And then you have to stand out. So you can perceive it from many angles.
Yeah, but it's like better and not per se different. You have like this higher score that not necessarily means that you're different. You're just fitting the society better.
Yeah.
you're less unique.
I always think about my teacher who said, if you want to be better than the rest, you have to be different than the rest. So,
Yeah.
because as a company, if you want to be successful, you need to be unique. You know, you have to offer something different than your competition. All right.
It's really striking me that actually, like when you said like you have to get more Instagram likes in order to buy a house, like it's not so far from here.
Mhm. That is, I think, why this episode is so scary,
Yeah.
because we can all relate to this.
Did any one of you guys have had any like advantages before, like because of followers, because of likes, because of any social rating?
No, maybe not experience, but actually this is normal. That normally, if for example you apply some position or some company, first what you have to do, you have to put your LinkedIn or Facebook or your account, and actually everybody see if you have, how many likes you have, how many people observe you, what kind of project you have there. So actually, if you have more likes and more people, more posts you use, in a more active in social media you have bigger chance to be hired. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's
you-
also exposure, I think. Like if you are really active on, for example, LinkedIn, then automatically more people will see you. So
Yeah.
people will more like know your name, something really simple. And then when someone random talks about this Sarah, oh, is that Sarah? Well, yeah, I saw it there. You know, it's exposure.
Hmm.
But that not yeah, a little bit also with the likes, because if you have more likes and more reactions on your post, then your exposure increases as well. But
Nice. Let's have a look to the redesign. So the idea of this phase is that we choose one value to base our redesign on. So, for example, if we choose superiority, like how can we redesign the system that it will not end up in everyone wanting to win? Or if we choose the value positive self, how can we redesign the technology in a way that the positive self becomes also more positive? Or how can we redesign the technology in order to make sure that we maybe less enhance the proof of support or validation from others?
and now we choose one.
Yeah, we choose one value. So then the technology we redesign based on that value.
Someone has a preference.
I think we can tackle them all if we just delete social media. Problem solved.
Yeah, that's already a brainstorm, I think.
Delete system.
Yeah, it sounds very apocalyptic.
What is apocalyptic? Deleting the system?
Yeah, just delete system, like I don't know, like a robot invasion or something, like delete everything.
Is it, to me, it seems like what we have now is more apocalyptic, right? It's more like what the movie shows us.
Yeah, it's a utopia actually, you know, because everything seems perfect, but underneath it, it's deeply wrong. So it's also a dystopia.
I think that is also what the episode is about. Like first there is this pinkish world where everything is great, and then dies,
Yeah.
everything will be gray.
Yeah. Actually, all the time, she's not honest with herself. Actually, she all the time acts something.
Should we take positive self for the first
Okay.
thing?
That's good.
How
Do
can
we
we
only
do
pick
One-
one?
Hmm?
Oh, do we only pick one?
Yeah,
One
for
of
this, yeah, if you want, you can also choose a second one, but the idea is to brainstorm on this value to get more crisp ideas on this one value. But we can decide to include more. But maybe we can take a few minutes to brainstorm and to write down adjustments to the system that influences the positive self. You can add, you can copy or add.
But we use the same system, right?
Or you can come up with other ideas.
A new
that's totally
system,
fine.
yeah.
I will turn on some new song. It's called Old T-shirt. Really curious.
Nice. I don't know who's writing this, but like change skills. I was thinking, oh yeah, there's this Likert skill.
Yeah.
Agree, not agree. Oh, nice. Only allow compliments.
With some ideas, I'm really thinking like, yeah, would this solve it, or would this introduce a new complication?
Which complication?
Yeah, for example, I was thinking about include an honest skill just to prevent that everyone's trying to be this perfect one. But yeah, if we introduce an honest skill, you can rate people for not being honest. Is that fair? Because you decide also for someone else.
Yeah. Oh, you're so honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every vote is checking, helping others. Not everyone can vote. Only allow compliments to somebody who's positive behavior. Put rating in perspective.
That sounds very bad. Not everybody can vote.
Or it has to be every day you can give 15 points.
Oh yeah. Because then you're way more conscious about who gets the votes.
Yeah, and
Or like a maximum amount of stars. Like you have 1 5-star to give away, 1 4, you know, something like that.
Oh, I like that.
I remember it from my my friend. She's working for PwC, and every year they get rated with a scale 1 to 5.
Oh yeah.
If they give someone a 5, they should someone else give a 1. So the average should be 3, always. So if someone stands out, one doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a whole episode on work life and rating based on your performance and stuff like that.
But if there's a maximum amount of stars to give away, will this help in this positive self? Maybe there can also be different type of stars. So, oh, you did something, I don't know, without self, I want to get better out of it, but really for someone else. Or you get 5 points for being this unique. Or
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
that's different levels. Like maybe we can include the ethical values, like you are honest, you are transparent.
Yeah.
I don't hear Andre anymore. Is that correct?
What's that?
Oh yeah, now I hear you. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah. I saw you talking.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe remove the whole social aspect, like judging, giving somebody ratings, just have a rating based on what you do. Like, for example, help others. That creates, I don't know. It seems that the whole, the problem with that system is that you judge people constantly.
Yeah. You could also argue to ask for ratings instead of give.
Oh, this is nice.
Oh yeah. But if you don't have any ratings, then also you cannot improve, right? That is what I meant with the feedback sandwich. That you have something positive to say and something negative. And for the negative part, you can, improve. You're not aware of that you're doing this. And also helping others. That means that you're helping someone else. And how do you know if you're helping someone else? Then others need to tell you that, right? Otherwise you don't know if you're actually helping, or you just think that you're helping but actually making it worse.
Yeah.
All of this could just be completely anonymous too, I think. Like, why does anyone need to know anyone else's score, really?
Yeah.
I think that even if you were giving and receiving ratings from the people around you, maybe you bumped into someone at the grocery store and they didn't say, excuse me. I don't know, just thinking of some situation that would be in the show. And you're like, wow, like I'm giving them, a 2 out of 5 or something. I don't think that everyone in the vicinity needs to know that you just gave them a 2 out of 5. Like, they'll know and they'll be like, oh, that might have been rude. Maybe I won't do that next time, and I think that type of thing would kind of help everyone be better, but not make them compete against each other and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the internet is quite unanimous, and that brings the worst out of people. And there's this forum, 4chan, where everybody can log in anonymously, and it's like a hellhole. So I think there's definitely value in recognizing people and know, oh, I have to keep in check because people can recognize me because they know my name, they know my face. So I think there's
But I think
definitely
that now
some
we're
value in
talking
that.
about, I think we're now talking about it on a different level. How I interpreted it was like other people see my score. And I think, Andy, what you're saying is that the one that's giving you the points is anonymous, and that is creating, I think, issues.
Mm.
Like, why is it important if you're passing by, I don't know you, that you see my score?
If I'm not mistaken, Airbnb you used to be able to see how many stars like somebody gave you, but now you can only see the comments. You can't see anymore how much someone rated you. So maybe they discovered something, or they realized, okay, like maybe this isn't promoting something that's just positive.
Yeah, and a few systems work also like this, that if somebody give you 1 stars, you can, for example, ask why somebody give you 1 stars, and some 1 stars can be canceled through this system. So that's why I put that every vote can be checking, because this is like also that somebody can give you stars because don't like you, but it's not, for example, your fault that something is wrong. And this is really often like the shop, some community like Vinted. If somebody gives you 1 star, they checking why is the 1 stars. You can explain what is happening.
Yeah.
So
It's
this
more
is
versus quality versus quantity, and
so they also can check from the different side why somebody give you 1 stars, and if you say that somebody don't give you without any reason, they just cancel the star.
Yeah, we can also decide to remove the ratings and only write.
Yeah, because then it also takes more effort to vote, give feedback, and then.
Yeah, and I think kind of like the qualitative feedback, that's kind of where I think I was going with one of these comment cards I put on here, to have ratings done by unrelated people, strangers. Kind of something I was thinking about is, what if the people that were not in the situation were the ones giving the ratings more objectively, like from a distance? So like the whole situation with the main character in the airport. You know, what if people that were not there were like, did she have a reasonable response to the flight attendant or the staff member? Like, was the staff member really trying to help her? Like, what, you know, somebody that's not so close to it, so that maybe that would create more of a fair system. But yeah, just something that would help it. I still do think that delete the system, best response, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the first one.
We maybe do a round of voting again. Like, I'm curious what ideas stand out, and also to wrap up the ideation phase a bit.
Yeah.
Great. Should we decide that we can only do 3 votes?
Yeah. 3 stars.
Fair
3
That's
stars.
good.
Maximum 3 stars.
To comment on the last comment about keep it in close circles, but that enforces like corruption, because then I will say all my friends, hey, give me a high rating instead of strangers. So there's also downside to keeping it close to you, to the people you know.
And just to follow up with your comment, also, if it's a stranger, like, what's the motivation for me to spend time rating people all the time that I don't know? Like, it takes time out of your day to you know, make a comment about, you know, to somebody.
That's true. You know, I think that could actually work on both ends though, because if everyone collectively feels like, why are we doing this? Then why does this have to exist in the first place? But if it is some type of social expectation, or even with the rating system, like for you to receive ratings, you have to give ratings or something like that. And everybody just
Oh, yeah.
has some specific amount, like you do 5 a month or something, like, and that's just what's expected, like how you file taxes, you just do it. And like, it's just some general, somebody's mandating this expectation. So I think that could be some of the motivation behind why someone would do it. But again, kind of just working within this type of society that would have a system like this in the first place. Might be some room there.
Yeah, because everything seems also, the ideas that we have now seems also a little bit forced. Like, yeah, why should we give feedback in the first place? Like, if I see someone in a shop, I could also say it.
Yeah, but you won't, right?
Yeah.
A random
So
person.
would I through a rating system?
I don't know.
You decide also a bit for people's life in a way.
Yeah, this kind of, it seems like the type of thing that if it was all just completely optional, just like, you know, when you make a purchase on Amazon, usually the people that leave reviews are either really happy with the product or really mad about it. So it's like always two extremes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also feel like it is like the system is a reflection of human nature. So saying, oh, I want to not have this or that or redesign it feels like I want to redesign human nature, if you know what I mean. So that makes it very difficult to say, how are we going to redesign this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also a little bit with delete the system. Okay, whatever the system is, there will be a new system because we're people that live in societies, and those societies exist because we have these rules that we come up with and we actually formulate ourselves in a way. Yeah.
There is basically no way of deleting it. Like,
Yeah.
No, that is what I meant. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I think
This one is difficult.
Yeah.
I see some votes on the delete system. However, that is maybe not very likely to happen. Star on different values and ethical values. That idea has some votes. We have the remove ratings and only write feedback. It's basically what Airbnb just did. We just grabbed an idea from real life.
Do you mean when you say that it's likely not, when you say delete system is not possible, is that because you can't delete your social media? Is that basically what you're saying?
If I think about Instagram, we cannot delete Instagram in a way. And then if we delete Instagram, then a new system will pop up. Because I think, yeah, that's also how.
There would be a solution to the problem, but as a designer, yeah, it's quite easy to hit the blow up button.
Yeah, what I meant more with it was like maybe not like the technological system, but more the thing that it's a medium, right? The technology that is now presented, but like how we communicate with each other, that kind of system, that social system will anyhow be there. So we can delete that social system, but there will still be a social system, but maybe in another form.
Yeah. But that's very broad, right? I think we narrowed it down with the positive self. How are we going to solve that without the system as in the show? So to keep it a little bit more digestible.
All right, guys. I think time is a bit ticking. I'm really curious if someone maybe wants to share what you liked about the event, or if you learned something. If you have any feedback for us to organize.
With rates or stars? Or
With
how do you want the feedback?
Yeah.
Written.
Maybe share our Facebook profiles and spam it, or
Well, I
I
really,
really
liked
like.
it. Sorry, yeah, no,
Go.
you.
No, go ahead. I just meant to say I really like the framework. It's very interesting to see like what other people's process is like.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guiding the whole thing, and I feel like I may be able to write more feedback as it comes to mind. But I really appreciate you hosting this event. I really, I haven't been working with others in a while, so it's really nice to get back to, thinking UX, and it's really, really awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And I guess I was I kept asking about the delete system because I haven't been on social media for, like, I try to get, basically remove myself from all of it, including LinkedIn, which, seems like a, suicide in some ways, like career suicide. But so far it hasn't been a problem. But I don't know how long I could, sort of be in this world without LinkedIn. I don't know, but I think this is why this is such an interesting topic to me, and this is why I like this episode so much, because it just brings I really like the discussions, and I don't know if it will have access to this file afterwards, but I think it would be nice to in some way be able to access some of these thoughts.
Yeah, I think we can keep the link maybe for a while if you want to maybe share or make some screenshots yourself. That's, I think, the safest way.
Yeah.
All right, guys, then thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
I think we haven't been able to wrap it up like a real concrete idea, but I think we got the discussion going, and that might also be a valuable part of it.
Yeah, the discussion was great. I'm actually glad that we spent that amount of time on the discussion.
Yeah.
More so than just kind of rushing to the design just for the sake of, designing something.
Yeah, and contrary to real life where people just rush to the design, right?
Yeah, right.
How often do you host these events?
Every month. And well, next block we will focus around a team of one, right? So that might be interesting for you as well. As you said, I heard from you that you haven't worked with people in a while, so that maybe means you're a team of one. Not sure.
Yeah. For the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and it is honestly like that's pretty interesting that you took the approach, Andres, to not be on any social media, including LinkedIn. Yeah. That's like super bold. Like you go ahead. I'd be so nervous. Like I sometimes feel like I don't have enough social media to keep up with posting design work and UI and all of these things everywhere. I have some friends, colleagues who really try to put in the effort to have a little bit here on Instagram. They got to post on Twitter. They have to share an article on LinkedIn. They have to write a blog post. I'm like, I cannot keep up with this. I'll just stay in my lane and wait till somebody asks me about UX.
Nightmare.
Yeah, the latest one is WhatsApp, but I don't know how that seems very difficult in many places, because you definitely are left out from certain discussions or certain events, and so I guess
yeah, but you're still in the system, right? I mean, if you're like a 30 or 40-year-old nowadays, you're in like 2,000 systems already, so 2,000 databases, all your personal data and stuff, so you can delete everything, but you're still there in a way. So that's also frustrating.
Well, I think what happens is you can always, it's never about eliminating, but it's about minimizing impact. And I think the data becomes useless after 10 years. It's kind of outdated. All of my information is from, like, let's say 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I was younger and had different you know, when I thought differently. So that's maybe the only positive. But yes, it's not about paranoia either. It's just about like, you know, not feeding more into the
machine,
Big brother.
into all those to
Not
the machine,
wasting
to the
time.
big brother. Exactly.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
you.
hope to see you next time, and have a really nice evening if you're in an evening time zone.
Yeah.
Have a good night, y'all.
Andres,
Thank you.
probably
Alright,
not.
thanks, guys.
Bye.
Later, bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.